So the beauty of having an annual pass is that you can come to the Monarto Safari Park anytime you want. So today, having my day off work, my one day, I've decided to head over and check out the elephants.
Okay, so just put your card just the other way around. Awesome, you're all good.
No worries,
Thanks.
thank you. It's as quick as that. So now let's just walk to the bus stop, and the buses run every 15 minutes. Sometimes you can just stay on the bus and enjoy the tour, or you can hop off each stop and collect the next bus on the way through. Here comes the bus now. And everyone's ready to hop on. It's having a wee. Oh, and it's having a shit too.
You just want to use the jacket and just grab it?
No, we'll just steer him down that way. Go!
God, you're going to bowl me over.
So instead of catching the bus, I've opted to walk to the giraffe waterhole and just walk through the pine trees here. Overcast, so it's not too hot, but it is a bit muggy. So from the rhino landing stop, which is your third stop, you can either walk back towards the chimpanzee enclosure and hop on back at stop 2, the outpost, or you can walk through to the giraffe waterhole. So there's plenty of walking trails. There's about 17 kilometres worth of walking trails, and you can hop on and off the bus as much as you want or walk around. So sometimes I come out here just to either catch a bus ride around or to hop off at certain sections and then walk part of the trail and do a bit of bird watching. Yeah, just take it in nature. It's close to home, and there's always something different to see when you come out. Back there at the rhino stop, had that poor little Joey who's been separated and kept on smashing into the fence. Didn't know which way to go. A group of us were trying to coach it through the gate, so it had all this open area to run to get into, because it seemed to want to stick around this area, but weren't able to do so. So it's been called in, and hopefully one of the rangers will come through and help assist it. So as you can see, it's plenty well signposted. This one goes to the Asian elephant area. or you can go to the black rhinos, which is ahead and towards the waterhole. So we've got 850 meters to go to. It's eerily peaceful, except for these bloody blowflies that like to hitch a ride on you. A lot of rocks there. Yeah, they only had one of their elephants out of the enclosure. The other three must be getting used to isolation and I don't know. But no idea. They're cooped up in their shed. If I had have stayed on the bus, they would have been able to explain that. Whereas last time I came was when I can't pronounce their names, so when the two females arrived, they had them out. Yeah, sounds like the bus coming. Anyway, here we go. Go down here and there's probably a platform to have a look. Oh yeah, this is where the little lookout landing is so that you can see the giraffe feeding. Oh no, this is the new platform for the elephants. Ah, that's new. Okay, so I'll keep going. Don't know what sort of birds they are. Can't really see them through the phone, but they made like a wobbler's noise. Okay. I wish they'd actually have some of these paths open so that you can bike it. It'd be nice to just pedal around. As a seasoned hiker, your feet end up gradually getting worse with plantar fasciitis, especially with standing on concrete all day with work. Hiking has really sort of deteriorated my body over the years. As you get older, things start to wind down and they don't repair as easily. Yeah, so I'm finding it a little harder to get back into hiking. You know, casual walks like these ones are fine. Any steepness is fine because the body's already used to using the leg muscles. It's just been on your feet for long times. Yeah, I know that sounds like a bit of a whinge, but this is not a very interesting walk through. Getting closer now. But I'm enjoying the cool breeze. Yesterday was a bit of a stinker. Some places reached 38. I think we got about 34 degrees. And it was just that stillness in the air, the thickness of the heat. They say South Australia has a dry heat. I think we're starting to change. It was a little bit humid. Plenty of little stools along the way to sit on. And one thing I did notice when coming in on the bus is that they've created some sculptures of the different animals along the way. Not that I could see them clearly through the bus windows, and the couldn't really take any photos of them because the glare through the bus made everything very dark. But we're coming up to the entrance. Over there is the area that they've got set aside for the elephants, with that new platform that we had a look at the landing. So now we're coming down to the giraffe waterhole, where they've got what is it, the Tasmanian devil. I think they've got a few meerkats there, but the highlight is the giraffes. Giraffes are in the same paddock as some what do you call them, ostriches. I think there was a few of the wild horses. I can't remember now. It's been a bit over 6 months since I've been out here. So as you've got here, straight ahead is for the giraffe waterhole, or you've got a lookout area that you can go visit over to the left. But we'll go down to the waterhole. This one has a cafe building. I'm not sure what it is. I've only ever gone to the Outpost Cafe. This one's always been closed. Not really interested in commercial buildings. I prefer to have a look at the animals and photograph them as I'm out here. From this enclosure you can continue the walk, and it'll take you around to where the ruins are. Oh, don't quote me on who it belonged to, I can't remember now. But it was the what do you call them? The farmers that owned the property before it was handed over. Anyway, so here we go. Not many of the animals are out. if we can find the Tasmanian devil. Geez, it's pretty isolated. I mean, oh, yeah, deserted. That's the word I was thinking. Not much going on. Hmm. Oh, bit empty. Okay, we'll go over to the giraffes. I should have worn my fly net. Just had one go up my nose. The waterhole. Over there, some ostriches. We got the safari bus truck going through. Wow, it is a bit of a dust bowl and pretty dry. Here we go. What have we got over here? I don't know if you can see that, but I can't see through the glare on my phone. Anyway. Yeah. Ostrich chase.
It's still chasing it.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. No, it chases the antelope. I know they chase the antelope. The old one. Here they are, all down this way. They don't look too enthusiastic. Sitting down here. What's the matter, sweetie? It looks dehydrated or something.
So here we are from the the giraffe's watering hole. I'm taking the ruins track, which will wind through to maybe the Windara ruins. I think that's what they're called. We'll have a look anyway. So it follows the border fence of where the giraffe's paddock is. And there was a few ostriches down there, one against the fence. Whether it was sick or whether it was nesting, I don't know. But the male black one, he was really having a go at some of the other species in there. Look what we have just come across. Ooh, there's a couple of birds in there. Hang on. Just as I was taking a photo with my camera, there was about 15 carawongs that just flew through. That's what was perched up on that branch. Anyway, back to it. So following the ruins track, it takes you up to the old homestead and the ruins on the property itself. Quite a large shed. That was the stables. The other sections of the property are just rubble on the ground. But unfortunately today, a lot of the animals are not out, not visible to see as you're going through. A little bit disappointed on that. The elephants were over in one corner. Normally you've got many of them hanging around in the paddock. A lot of ostriches, emus, but today don't get to see a great deal of anything. Anyway, heading up here. Yes, look to your left, look to your right, look to your left again. Isn't that what we were taught as kids? Sharing the road system here with the cars and the buses. Well, the cars are private, the rangers. This trail is kind of like, are we nearly there yet? Okay, once we get through this fence. Okay, we've come to the junction. And as you can see up there is part of the ruins. So we're going to get going. There we go. It's called the Bretag track. It does a loop. It's on both sides that you can go to. Okay. Got the homestead, which is down to the right, and then the ruins up to the left. I think I might go down to the homestead first, and then we'll loop around to the ruins. I like this trail out here, exploring the ruins, because the uniqueness of it all is that it's within the Monarto Safari Park. So you've got plenty of variety of what to have a look at. First of all, up here, stop me wobbling. As you can see, the kilns there. Out here they used to collect the lime and use that for mortar on the bricks as they build their, or stones as they build their houses. We'll just have a look at what it has to say on the board. So I'll just leave it over here as I read it. A process dating to antiquity, lime is created by burning limestone without melting it, and was developed after the discovery of brick making. Although it has a number of applications, lime was used extensively to create a durable, flexible and porous plaster to coat the walls in houses, which both reduce surface condensation and mould growth. So in the late 19th century, farmer George Green, who named the property Trial Farm, branched out into blacksmithing for local farmers and lime burning using these kilns. Although it's unknown when these distinctive brick-lined kilns were originally built, they were excavated and restored in 2010. Over the years, many of the fire bricks that once lined the inner walls were used for other buildings on the farm. So there we go. Bit of uniqueness to the area. You see a lot of this when you go out into the outback of South Australia. Okay, further on the property, we've got some ruins down here. You can only imagine that this section down this area was to do with their water supply and producing what they needed to build the homes or the building structures. Because as you can see there, that one is pretty much gone to dust. But down here you've got your water tanks. And I think back in the 1800s they actually had a very well preserved knowledge of how to sustain themselves. Don't know why, but the wind blew my recording off. So I'll just continue on with these tanks as I leave it over here for you to have a look at. The underground tanks in this part of the dry state in Australia, rainfall has historically been less than around 350 millimetres over the entire year. The importance of storing water for early settlers was paramount, and these underground storage tanks were used to capture rain and provide a water supply during dry times. The underground tanks were built with local stone and were excavated and restored to 2010. Along with the kilns, the square tank had completely deteriorated and was rebuilt in its original location adjacent to the round underground tank. And this is this one that they've restored. Sorry about that noise. Boss went through. So we're going to trek over here. And this is where the old homestead is, the cottage. That's better. My phone almost did die on me, so I had to get the power bank out so I can keep it on charge. But here you go is the homestead of the Bretag or Bretag. Don't know how it's pronounced. There we have it there. But as I focus over there, we have a lot of the ruins still on that section there that haven't been restored. Doesn't look like they will be. But yeah, we have a bus coming through the giraffe paddocks, so I'll try and get through this. Monarto section number 253 in the Murray Scrub east of the Bremer Ranges was acquired by George Green as a scrub lease in October 1867. He, his wife Jemima and their family initially lived in a dugout roofed with mallee branches. George next constructed the wattle and daub room using calitris pine posts and golden wattle slats attached to the inner and outer sides of the uprights with handmade nails. To complete the walls, a mixture of small limestones, mud and straw filled the space between the inner and outer slats before being plastered with a protective coat of lime mortar, of which you already saw back further where they had their own kilns and created the lime there. The family went on to attach further rooms resembling the whitewash stone crofters' cottages found in Scotland's Hebrides, with small 4 square windows and a steep thatched roof. This addition had tapered walls of limestone and mud just 1.5 metres high that were rendered inside and out with lime mortar and then whitewashed. As its eastern end there was a substantial squarely built fireplace and chimney. Finally, a small square room was built in the east with a half cellar, possibly occupying the original dugout on its southern side. After George's death in November 1905, executors John Leslie and George Johann Hartman administered his estate until James Hutton and John Thomas Winch purchased sections 245 and 253 in April 1906. In mid-1927, these sections were bought by Frederick Willem Bill Bretag and his family. Although the family was very poor, Bill and his son Fred enlarged the small square room by filling in the cellar, eliminating the steps and adding another room to the east with its own fireplace. They also raised the height of the walls and incorporated a hipped and garbled roof and a bullnose veranda in corrugated galvanized iron to form the present 2-room cottage. Fire bricks scavenged from the oldest of George Green's 2 lime kilns to the northeast of the house were used to build the chimney and to form the distinctive haystone segmental arches over the front windows. A brick fireplace in a kitchen and a storeroom with galvanized iron walls were added as a lean-to on the northern side of the new 2-room cottage. All of this considerably extended the original homestead, allowing it to accommodate Bill Bretag, his wife Caroline, known as line pronounced Lena, and their 4 children Fred, Nora, Holder and Hugo. Bill died in his house in November 1944. His younger son Hugo then took over the property. By early 1953, the oldest parts of the house were steadily deteriorating and a new timber house was built about 250 metres to the north. Bill Bretag's 2-roomed cottage was restored by the Bretag family in 2019 as the result of a bequest from Rita Bretag, who died at Murray Bridge in July 2016. Rita was the wife of Hugo Bretag, who predeceased her in 2003. George and Jemima Green, Willem and Caroline Bretag, and Hugo and Rita Bretag are all commemorated by headstones on their grave sites in the Monarto Cemetery on Shenshaw Road, however you pronounce that. But anyway, there we have it. There's the board, and we'll just head down here and have a look at the cottage. It's interesting the type of vegetation that survives around here. I'll get down close and see whether you can see that. It's actually quite pretty. It's glittery on the outside too. It's got the old tin, wash tin. The tank. And in those days they kept their kitchen on the outside to prevent any fires within. Along the time that they've had this open, people have collected excuse me have collected remnants of what's been found on the property and placed it there. Got a fly in the throat. And as you can see, they've also placed it out on the veranda. That would be nice tumble dry. Coca-Cola bottle from that one. I'll just go down here and give you a view of it from this angle. Okay, so we'll continue on. Look at that. A lot of the wood is virtually decomposed. Okay. So we'll go back up this way, and that brings you up to where the stables were. Just going past the water tanks again. And the kilns up here onto the right side. Just up here over that crest is the stables. Okay, fighting with the flies here. So here we have it. It's quite a large structure, isn't it? See the galvanized metal going around it to hold it together, I guess. Interesting. Has its own little bell. Love having a look around old ruins. You wonder, if the walls could talk and what sort of stories they would tell. Oops, nearly tripped over. Water trough by the looks of it, maybe. Interesting. I would say that was probably a water tank, maybe. Fireplace over there. And as you can see, the white on the walls, that would be the lime that they use from the property. The old stove. Seen better days, that one. Look at that, they even had skylights. Okay, I'm going to sign off here because I'm going to wander around and take some photos. But yeah, that was my intention today, was just to check out the elephants, although there was just the one and everything else is pretty quiet. Come here and take some photo shoots of the ruins and just enjoy the walk. Nice breeze blowing, a perfect way to spend my day off work, especially when it's close to home. Okay, signing out.
hours a day eating, mostly nocturnal hunters. This gives them the element of surprise. They're also known to hunt during thunderstorms or wild weather because once again, it covers their tracks.
Well, they changed some things around since I was last here. That one bus that you would catch and then it would take you around through the Lion's Den area. You actually have to hop off at Monarto stop, and then there's a separate bus that takes you through, and then it drops you back off, and then you have the option of walking the 600 metres back to the information centre or wait around for the other bus that will come through to actually pick you up and take you. But as you can see, as we walk back to the information centre, this area and the area leading up to where the carnivore area is, there's a lot more vegetation surrounding the dirt compared to where the giraffes and the other animals are. Yeah, anyway, I'm just about back to the car. It's been an enjoyable walk around. It's starting to get the clouds coming over, rain about to sprinkle through, getting a bit darker out that way, heading towards the city. So I'm glad I actually did get out here, otherwise I would have been sitting at home reading my books, researching and doing the same thing I do every afternoon after work. So getting out here, doing a bit of photography work, but I do need to upgrade my camera. It's well and truly past its use by date. The graphics and the colours that come through are getting a bit washed out. Yes, I can tinker around with the editing tools, but I like to be able to use the camera for long distance, and it's just not cutting it. So it might be time to upgrade. Anyway, just about up to the walkway, and they've got a mural which shows you all the animals that are in the safari as to the slowest to the fastest. It's quite well put together too. I won't film up that way because there's children up there, but here's part of the mural as you come through. And this will bring you through to a shop, souvenir shop. It's got quite a bit in here. And then it takes you out into the courtyard. And just over there is the cafe. So they have quite an extensive range of food and beverages, ice creams, It's not a bad little area to get the night in. The wind is bad. Out on the grass, but it's not so cold. Just had a peek in there. It's quite busy in there, and the smell of hot chips. But anyway, I'm going to go home, cook up some kebabs, and have that with a beetroot salad. Just dodging people here because I don't really want to get them in it. But yeah, overall they're doing a great job with the safari park. It's not a government funded, it's done by donations and by having a life membership, which all contributes to the upkeep of the animals. So if you get a chance, help donate towards the upkeep of the animals and the park itself, and purchase yourself a annual membership. If anything, it's well worth it. It'll pay for itself in 3 visits, and believe me, you can ride that bus as many times as you want in the day. There's certain perks of having a life membership.